Back to another podcast. I'm here with Jackson Paradis of you went to Tilton for high school and Sanborn. So you want to tell us a little bit about how like your high school experience was?
Yeah, I mean it was definitely like a different experience from what other people have, but so I went to Sanborn for my freshman and sophomore year, and after that I transferred to Tilton School, repeated my sophomore year, played 3 years there, and then graduated early my senior year.
So where did you grow up playing youth football?
So I grew up in Kingston, New Hampshire, and I played for the what was it, the Sanborn was it Blue Devils, I think. And we had a I started in seventh grade. I started playing football, and that I just didn't really know what I was doing. Eighth grade started to get a hang of it, but didn't really know what I was doing either. But after that, like I heard the youth football program at Sanborn kind of was just destroyed. Like everyone didn't no one put money into it anymore, so there's not really a program anymore.
So how was the move from Sanborn? Obviously, you grew up with all these kids. So moving from Sanborn to Tilton, how was that like experience and was it hard to like adapt to a new place?
Sorry. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was definitely hard because I grew up with all these kids for my whole life, and but I just knew that I need to give myself better opportunity, and I needed to get a fresh start and get myself exposure. But I think that was probably the best decision I could have made. I know, like New Hampshire public schools are very under recruited, and they don't get a lot of looks, and I was just thinking to myself like I'm trying to stay at this public school to like bring exposure to New Hampshire public schools, but I just don't know if I can do it with like the tools I have there. So I just thought that was the best thing for me to do, even if it was just leaving my friends. It was just something I had to do for myself, and I think it was just ultimately the best decision in the future or for the future.
Now, like I said before I started even recording, I actually got to play against you in high school, and I will say you're one of the toughest kids I've ever had to tackle, and our whole game plan was pretty much based around you.
I appreciate
So
that.
obviously at Sanborn, you were probably the best player, if not one of the best to go through the program, right?
Yeah, me and my best friend, we were like brothers. He's at Colorado State now, just entered the portal. He went to Tilton with me. We lived with each other for about 3 years. And we kind of just he was 2 grades above me, but we kind of just did everything together. Like, and then both ended up being FBS prospects out of the same high school on the same team. So
Which is crazy.
yeah, it was really mind blowing to think of because like I just remember the first time meeting him, like we just like walked up to each other and he just looks at me and goes, "Yo, you play football?" I was like, "Yeah." What about you? It's just crazy to see like how like
Relationships can
time.
grow through the sport.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So the D1 offers the first time around. Obviously, you just entered the transfer portal today, probably about 2 hours before we're recording this. But the first time with the offers, how many did you end up getting?
So in total, I had about 20, and I had multiple. I just didn't really post, and I lost my original Twitter got blocked, or I mean deleted for some reason. So I kind of lost contacts with some coaches, but that kind of set me back a little bit throughout recruiting. But yeah, I was in contact with a lot of coaches around the country, and I had about 20. So
Now, so going from Sanborn to Tilton again, we'll go back to that one more time. How was like not just the school wise, but like the football wise of like this the sport different, like from playing NHIAA to playing like prep school?
yeah, so like New Hampshire public schools, I feel like a lot of people don't really take football seriously because they're like, oh, like what am I gonna get out of playing football here? Like, what am I gonna go to like a D3 school around here? Just like that's we don't really get recruited. No one ever goes anywhere.
Yeah.
But they just don't really take football seriously and just kind of play all different kind of sports. So it's kind of like a bunch of athletes playing the sport. And then that was the difference between like Sanborn and Tilton. Because like Tilton, like I went there with my buddy Owen, who was a D1 guy, like three other D1 guys, and on that same team when I first got there. Like people were going there to play football. Like
Yeah.
and they go to prep schools to play football. So like you're playing against people who are have the same goals and dreams as you. Like so like it's like a lot more competition wise.
It's not some of those kids that are just out there to wear their jerseys in the school the next day.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly.
So obviously the Tilton must have helped get you ready for college because you were obviously away from home already. So you did that in high school as a 17, 18-year-old kid instead of doing it at 18, 19 for the first year of college, you already adapted to it. How was that at Tilton, like that experience of like being away from family?
So it was definitely like tough at first, but I actually got like, kind of lucky because COVID kind of like saved me. So like my first year, sophomore year, I played the season, and I think that was when COVID happened. So like I was home for like the whole winter and spring, so I just played football and got out of there. And
Yeah.
then in the junior year, like we figured something out to like we would go on campus, like not leave at all, which that was kind of the hardest part of like going
Yeah.
there. I wasn't able to go home for like 3 months, and so I played the season. We had only 2 games because our last game got canceled because someone got a positive COVID test. And after that, we got sent home for the winter. And in the spring, like I was telling them like this is like my year to like go to camps and all this. Like if I stay at school, they're not gonna let me leave. So I was like, I can't go to camps if I go to school. And they gave me an excuse to just like stay at home, do my stuff at home, and be able to go to all these camps because I got invited to like the All American camp,
Yeah.
so all these different camps, and like it was kind of exposure for them too because it was All American camp and everything. So it helped both of us out. So and then my senior year, I was just there for the fall again, and then graduated after that. So I was basically only at Tilton for each fall semester.
So you didn't really live there only during football, kind of?
Yeah, yeah, I pretty much just lived there during football, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Now, how was it to graduate early, like graduate high school early and get that done? Then you went to Buffalo early, right?
Yeah, yeah, I did. So, I mean, it was it was definitely something that benefited me, but I definitely missed out on a lot of things my senior year. It's just something you gotta do. It's just like a sacrifice you gotta make to
Yeah.
future. But it's definitely something that just helped me out in the future. It helped me grow with my knowledge, like football wise, playing spring ball at Buffalo as like an 18-year-old going against. I remember like my first rep in college football, I was going against a 32-year-old Navy SEAL.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like 26-year-olds, like you're probably going against these
Yeah.
guys who are 10 years older than you, if not more.
Yeah, no, it was nuts. I remember like my first like one-on-one blocking drill, like my first ever practice. I'm like in my stance, I look up and it's just like a 32-year-old Navy SEAL with like long hair, like he's just like looks like Thor, like it's just crazy. But that was definitely something that just helped me what is it? Kind of like increase my game and
Yeah,
knowledge.
like prepare you almost for it.
Yeah.
So going back to Sanborn again, I think you and like you said, your teammates might have put Sanborn on the map as of like that area for football because realistically, if you look around the state, there's not that many D1 athletes. Like there is for some sports, like lacrosse, we have a lot of D1 athletes, but football wise, not that many. So I just think that you guys did that, and then obviously it's a grind. Everything, every level of football is a grind. High school, prep, college, pros, everything is a grind. I believe. Obviously, you're gonna say college was probably the toughest for a grind, but
Yeah.
were you like mentally and physically prepared when you got there, or was it like a hard adjustment?
So, yeah, college football is definitely, especially at the level I'm playing at, it's just a lot every single day. Like your schedule, especially when I got surgery, my schedule was 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. every single day, along with classes. Like I got to get there early for PT and everything, workout, field work, watch practice, all this stuff. But I think I was more prepared than I think a lot of people. Like I was always kind of hard on myself, so I would wake up at about 4 a.m., drive to training. I was like 45 minutes away for like a whole 2 years. So I think that really prepared myself for college football.
Now, obviously, living away from family and friends for college must be different because you're in New Hampshire still. Tilton, I mean, it's up north, but it's not that you can't come home and see your family on the weekend. Now, Buffalo's about what? How far? 4 or 5 hours?
It's like 7.5.
All right, see, so I'm thinking other side of
Yeah.
New York. So 7.5 hour ride. You can't come home on a Thursday night to see your family for dinner or something. Like, how tough was that? Obviously, they can come see you, but that must have been tough, right?
Yeah, no, it was definitely something I had to adjust, but like with college football, like you're doing every single thing with like your like brothers. So like I was
Yeah.
like
Since freshman year is now over, how was the experience? Or football freshman year is now over. How was the experience?
so I had a I had a different experience than like other people because I was injured the whole season,
Yeah,
but it was definitely like just mind blowing, just like sitting in the field, like getting ready for the locker room, like watching all the fans just go crazy during games. Like I think it definitely mentally prepared me for when I'm ready to be on the field.
yeah. So
And
obviously, you guys made the bowl game this year and won. That was a crazy game. I actually watched that. How was that experience to like field, like hold up the trophy with your teammates, like just see how all the hard work like pays off at the end?
yeah, no, that was probably the highlight of the season. I mean, we spent like 5 days out there, and I mean, there's not much to do in Montgomery, Alabama, but we made stuff happen. We made it fun. Like we had just a bunch of stuff happening during the game. Like there was about like what, like 30,000, 35,000 people there. Like it was just crazy to like see all that happen, and then just us like capitalize the season that we had. So that was kind of like a major, like a big point on why you want to, like, why winning is so important, because it's just like it's just something that solidifies your team.
Yeah. So where was the farthest you guys traveled this year for a game? Was it the bowl game?
Yeah, I think it might have been a bowl game. Yeah, I think yeah, either that, Coastal Carolina. Yeah,
I was gonna
probably.
say Coastal and then Eastern Michigan, right?
Yeah, so probably the bowl game in Alabama. Uh,
So who was obviously the bowl game was probably the toughest opponent you guys have faced because it was a 23-21 final score. Other than that, what would you say was like the hardest week to prepare for, like watching your teammates prepare?
um, so when we were leading the conference number one, and we had a game against Toledo, who won the MAC championship. So it was one against one, and we were just like preparing ourselves. Like, I mean, obviously I wasn't practicing or anything, but I was just like feeling the energy and everything. Everyone's just getting ready for the game, like mentally locked in all the time. Like, so that was kind of like the biggest game. We ended up winning that game too, which was huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to see the big games and mentally prepare for it all throughout the week, it's just huge.
Now, having to go through and already have been through a season now, would you say away games are fun or home games are fun? Like, what's like better to win, like a home game or on the
Home
road?
games for sure.
Home game.
Yeah, I think home games for sure.
So obviously, you guys beat Eastern Michigan 50-31 in September. There, like beating a team on the road by a bigger margin than most people would predict has to be like a good feeling too. Or like even winning at home obviously is a great feeling, but that bus ride home is going to be something special, right?
Yeah, no, it definitely was. I mean, yeah, I wasn't there to see it, but I know they're all happy. We're all happy back at home, so it
So
was it
did
was
you get to travel to every away game or no?
no, I did not.
Okay.
Yeah, so we
You
only have a certain amount of spots on the
That's
travel.
what I thought. Yeah. So I didn't know because obviously you were at the bowl game, so I didn't know if you got to travel to everyone.
Yeah.
Um, so now obviously you entered the transfer portal today. Are you excited for what the next like chapter holds? And obviously thankful for the memories of Buffalo. So like what's your thought process going into this as you just entered it today?
Um, yeah, so I'm definitely excited for what the future holds. I'm just getting myself ready for the next step. and I'm ready to just win wherever I go. Go in there, compete, and give everything I got to just like show them like what I am, like, and everything like that. Just like so, I'm ready. I'm ready to go, and I'm just grateful for like the opportunities I had at Buffalo, all the family I had, and I'm just never gonna forget those relationships. So,
So now, so since you were hurt this past year, how many years of eligibility do you have?
that I right now I believe I have 4, but I think I'm going through the process of seeing if I can get a medical redshirt year for this year, so I can I'll be able if I ever need to if I want to go on a redshirt year another year, so I would have an
Okay.
extra year of eligibility if I ever needed it.
I have a question. No, oh, there it is. So the spring ball back last year, now a year ago almost, right?
Yeah.
Um, was that obviously it was like an eye-opening experience and you got to play in it. Did you get hurt during that or did you get hurt like during like training?
So I was getting hurt through spring ball, but I always just played through it like I was just
Yeah.
gonna do it. But yeah, no, spring ball was definitely an eye-opening like experience for me.
Um, Now, so since you're transferring, are you going back to Buffalo for the second semester or are you just starting somewhere new?
So I'm going back to Buffalo to pick up my stuff, and then I'm coming back here. Wherever I go, I'm gonna end up going there this upcoming semester.
Oh, so you'll start like at the end of this month?
Yeah,
Okay. So it'll be a quick decision, quick turnaround, and ready to go and start again.
yeah, quick decision.
So now, so you did your first, so you started first semester last year, like
Y-
last spring, and
Yeah,
then now you have, then you did a second semester. So what are you academically a sophomore?
yeah. So this spring I'll be academically a sophomore, which is a little weird to think about.
I had one last question, and that'll be all. Going back to even when you first started playing, do you have any regrets? Like anything you wish you did differently?
No, I don't. I don't have any regrets. I think that I've just always have just left everything out on the field, and I just don't want to ever finish the game without any regrets. So
Exactly.
that's just how I'm playing.
Well, Jackson, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing where you go and getting to watch you play.
Definitely, I appreciate you having me.
Thank you.